Centuries ago, the Malian Emperor Mansa Musa sent his best and brightest scholars, explorers, warriors, and artisans across the great western ocean to discover new lands. They were never heard from again. Until now. Join creative director Tanya DePass as Invicta, the Haathorei Blade Keeper, DeejayKnight as Ikemba, the Musalian Biopriest, Michael Sinclair II as Ilay, the Misajai Lightbringer, Christina Ariel as Sila 919, the Monsagene Biopriest, and Eugenio Vargas as the Storyteller, as they travel the stars, defend their homes, and treat everyone they meet luxuriously. Welcome to the Motherlands.
Good evening, happy Sunday, and happy time zone, everyone. We're back with Into the Motherlands, episode 7. We are officially into the second half of our season. My name is Eugenio. You might know me as DM Jazzy Hands, and I am the storyteller for this wonderful journey through the Motherlands. We're so happy to have you all back with us. Excited to be back. Excited to have all of the crew back, and excited to see that I'll be playing Invicta tonight. Loving that. Congrats, DJ. You have apparently been upgraded to storyteller of this game. You ready?
Yes.
Fantastic. I can't wait.
Here's my Bertrand impression. Welcome to the game.
Oh, yes.
Have
Loving that.
a
Oh,
great
wormholing.
time.
Oh, there we go.
I see what happened. I see what happened. We got scrambled in the wormhole on the way in. I understand. I get it. Well, that happens sometimes. You know, that stuff can be unpredictable. Anyway, we should introduce our cast instead of me riffing on a very minor moment. So let's go ahead and go around and see who our players are, who they're playing this week, where you can find them on the interwebs. Let's start with our host this evening and the creative director of Into the Motherlands, Tanya.
Hello. Hopefully you can hear me, and I didn't forget to unmute myself. I didn't. Yay. And we're all Starlight now. I am playing Invicta, she, her, your Haathorei Blade Keeper, who is slowly learning how to people and at least realize that not everybody is out to get her. We'll see what happens after she got her bloodlust on last week and also gave away the cheese, which really seemed to bother Silent 919 on Twitter.
I did see that.
Defense, the cheese was delicious.
Well, that's good at least. At least it was appreciated. Continuing, y'all, we just started. Continuing around the circle, we will head over to Miss Christina.
Hello, my name is Christina Ariel, and I am playing Captain Silent 919. She is a Monsagene Bio Priest. Basically a super cool android that people wish they could be cool like too, but she doesn't know she's cool. She just is effortlessly cool in her own mind, and she's a new person. And you can find me on the internet at Christina Ariel, KrystinAarielle, and this is going to be fun and exciting. And last week I slapped somebody in the face with my braids.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I loved it. Let's see who you hit this week with them braids. Going down, continuing around clockwise, Michael.
Yeah, hello, folks. My name is Michael Sinclair II. I go by Michael Crits everywhere. My pronouns are he, him, and I play Ilay. Their pronouns are they, them, and they are Misajai. And they are a very high-strung but calm-appearing person. So yeah, very excited for today's session. Ilay got to pilot the ship, so that was really fun, and we got to see them get flustered, so that was really awesome. And I want to see how we bounce back, so I'm excited for today's session.
Yeah, same. We sort of had an idea that Ilay was perhaps a bit more high-strung than they let on in their flashback, but now we got to really see them get rattled last week. I'm excited. All right, last but most certainly not least, DJ.
Oh, hi. I'm DeejayKnight, Space Sci-Fi variety broadcaster here on Twitch, but I am Ikemba, the Musalian Biopriest, who ate way too much cheese last week. He likes to make things that are biological do other things that are biological. It's awesome. You should see it sometime. Thanks.
Was that the best intro of the season? Maybe. We got 5 episodes left. We'll just have to see. Once again, everybody, I'm Eugenio. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at DMJazzyHands. And I'm very used to him pronouns, and I'm excited to get this story off the road. But before we do, we got folks to thank. So we definitely want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Die Hard Dice for supporting our endeavors here in the Motherlands. The Musalian dice are available now for you to purchase at dieharddice.com. You can get a set of these gorgeous dice for your very own. We've had lots of people order and receive them, and they all look beautiful. Thank you all for all of you who have already gotten them, for posting on the interwebs and tagging us and showing us. It's all very exciting. So go check out the Musalian Skies dice and everything else Die Hard Dice has to offer at dieharddice.com. Next up, we want to thank Blue Microphones. They have supplied the whole cast with microphone upgrades as needed and are making sure that we sound as excellent as possible for all of you. You can check out everything that they have to offer at their website, bluemic.com, or you should do that also. But tonight's giveaway at the end of the show is going to be another Yeti X microphone from Blue Microphones. So be sure and pay attention to the mods in the chat. They'll tell you how and when to enter. Remember, you do need to be present at the end of the stream when we draw the winner. If you aren't here and don't claim it in chat, and make sure you have your whispers open on Twitch as well. If you aren't here for that, we will have to pick another name, and what a sad thing you will miss out on. Very exciting. Anyway, thanks Blue Microphones for making sure that we all sound good. Third up, we want to, where's my book? I've lost it. Well, anyway, third up, we want to thank the folks over at Cortex by Fandom. Our system is primed by Cortex. We've had a great time, and now the books are out in the wild. So get your hands on one. You can check out everything that they have to offer, not just the way we are playing Cortex, but all of the other mods in the Cortex system, because that is the beauty of Cortex, is you can make it work for whatever kind of story you want to tell. So go get that handbook. And finally, we want to have a huge thank you, of course, for Twitch for being such a major supporter of Into the Motherlands and making it possible for us to be here, and for all of you to be here. We super appreciate their support. All right, I think that covers our thank yous for the week, which brings us to my second favorite part of every week. The first being when the first one of you to get really nervous at having to roll dice. But my second favorite thing of the week is the recaps. Who wants to start and tell us what happened last week? Y'all.
I feel like I'm exempt from the recap. To be
Yes,
fair.
that's fair. That's
No.
fair. If we got an Ikemba recap, it would be specific and largely stuff that none of us knew.
We prepared for battle. Things were about to happen. And then I went into a cheese coma.
Great.
Came
All right.
to check on me, and I said, I believe we've got this.
And together you saw it through. Who wants to fill Ikemba and our audience in on what happened? Yeah, Christina, go ahead.
I will. Styla 919, Captain Styla 919, and Invicta had to go on a spacewalk, and Ilay was commanding the ship. And Ikemba, of course, was in a cheese coma from cheese that was not his to imbibe in the first place. So there's that. And they went on the walk, and they had on cool outfits. And Invicta had on a really cool spacesuit, and Styla had on a nice jean jacket or leather jacket to just walk across the thing. And they went in and they fought some people like pew, pew, pew. And they threw the bodies out into space in the suction. And then they went and there were some people walking down the hall. And Styla went with her braids from up in the vent because they had to claw through the vent to get over and see the people who had taken over the ship. And then they had to take out the people and they turned the lights out. And it was like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Pretty accurate.
Sure.
Pretty accurate. Ilay, what was going on with you over in the pilot seat while the pew pew and the whoosh was happening on the other ship?
Yes, Ilay was trying to do negotiations with what seemed to be the leader of the bandits at the time being, and they were trying to essentially buy time or maybe fluster the bandits, but it ended up backfiring. Ilay, for one of the first times, seems to lose their cool. They were trying to, save as much face as they could because they knew that both Styla 919 and Invicta were on the other ship. And obviously, what do you call this? Ikemba was in a cheese coma, so like that was we knew they appeared towards the end of it. So they must have got done what they were doing. Also, just to clarify, it is also kind of cheating if I always do the recap because I do take the notes. So that's
true.
why I never really volunteer. I know
No,
exactly
I know.
what happens. So
I know
don't
exactly why you keep quiet when I ask for the recaps.
I
Don't
throw it
you
back to
worry.
you for details.
That's That's right.
Okay, there it
We
is.
get the sort of the pathos of the episode from Christina, and then we get the hard facts from Michael.
I'll take that. Sure.
I love it. I love it. I also love how we keep referencing Ikemba's cheese coma, but then clearly all know that he was busy during his cheese coma because we all keep saying, well, he got done with whatever he needed to do and he finished up his like we all know what happened.
IRL hopped in and was like, "Hey man, you know you're busy, but like IRL though, like
But like IRL,
you got real life stuff to deal with." And I felt like
right
I heard
now.
Martin Lawrence in my ear, like, "You got real world to deal with, Mike." And it was like, okay, I guess I'm Mike Lowry right now. I got real world to deal with. I mean, I can't do anything about it.
I know it. And you took care of business, and that is all right. And we are happy to have you back this week.
And we're glad you're here and that you slid in right as we were wrapping up. And we're like, Ikemba's awake.
That's right.
Actually, no, we didn't.
The cheese was delicious.
I was aware of Ikemba being awake. The two of you all are over there beheading pirate captains and folding up the floor of ship bridges. So
badass ladies, awesome. Man.
We did what we had to do, yo.
You did. And let's start there because you've done part of what you had to do, but now you're left with several bodies, a couple of terrified surrendered pirates, and a lot of also terrified but they're beginning to come down off that terrified ship's crew from the Sundiata, from the Muselian Trade Federation ship Sundiata, which is the in fact ship that you all saved. So we're over there with Ikemba and Sila, and let's hop in there, and then we'll come back to the Wistful Wish and check on the rest of our crew in a moment. But you all have just taken out the pirates. You have sent Captain Sila 919. You sent a good chunk of the hostages running for the other side, or maybe even to leave the bridge while you and Invicta took care of business, and business, it seems, has been taken care of. So what are you two doing?
Invicta's standing there, like in Dragon Age when you're covered, or specifically Dragon Age 2 when you're like covered in blood.
Yes.
And you're fine. Like you're okay, but you're just like splattered all in blood and you're just chilling. And she's just like wiping off her blade, looking around like, anybody else want to say something? I got you.
I think it's two remaining pirates that are alive on the bridge and intact, sort of see you questioningly look in their direction, and they both just shake their heads. I
mean, they weren't the ones that saw me pin the other one to the floor like a bug, right?
No, they just watched you. They watched you. I'm pretty sure you decapitated their captain, right?
Oh,
or
yeah.
the first mate that was pretending to be captain that was sitting in the captain chair.
Well, Sila, you took care of the captain, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you want to tell us what you did to that captain?
I said, I'm the captain now. And then, but out.
Yeah. So these two conscious pirates are definitely lower on the crew hierarchy and are very happy to obey their new captain and first officer or something. Sila, what are you up to now that the immediate threat seems to have passed?
I am walking up to Invicta and asking her. That was some battle. You've done quite well. Better than well. You were fantastic. Pat, 2 times on the shoulder.
And I just look at her and I'm like, what did I tell you about touching me? Boundaries.
I rescind my pat. My apologies. I will not overstep your boundaries in the future.
I mean, also, I'm covered in blood. Why would you touch someone covered in blood?
It's a quick fix.
There is a bridge full of terrified people watching this exchange in complete silence.
That is amazing. Just throwing it out there.
There are at least a dozen people in this room with you all, many of them covered in blood, some of it their own, perhaps, just staring, watching this look, very healthy conversation about personal space and boundaries. It's just surprising in its timing, perhaps, to them.
Can I use notice to see this, like to be aware of it?
I think at this exact moment, after you've said it's a quick fix, I don't think you have to roll. I think the fact that you have such a high rating and notice, you just sort of suddenly once again become aware of the room.
You are all very welcome for saving your lives. It has been a pleasure to make sure that you see another day. You're very welcome. Do you have plans?
One of the remaining pirates sort of very tentatively raises his hand and says, does that include us?
Were you not trying to capture all of these people?
Well, yes, but you said you're welcome for saving your lives. I thought maybe we would get to keep ours too.
Maybe. And I
You
just
should
give
be
them
grateful
that.
as well.
You give him the what, Invicta? Because he is looking right at you after you started speaking.
You know that toothy predator grin?
Yes, he shrinks back a bit, and Sila, say what you said again?
We will accept your gratitude as well.
And he, backing up, looks relieved about what Captain Sila 919 just told him. Doesn't want to get too close to Invicta, because the feral predator grin on top of the persistent gore DA2 effect is really quite the look. Quite the intimidating look. So he just nods, content that it seems that they're not going to be killed immediately. And one of the Sundiata's crew, wearing the uniform of the Sundiata with the logo of the Musalian Trade Federation, sort of stands up at your question about do you have plans, Captain Sila 919, that you just asked, and says, well, half of our crew is currently being ransomed by the rest of their friends, I guess. So we should probably get to our destination, deliver the cargo, and alert the Trade Federation that they will be receiving likely a ransom communique shortly.
Who among you is good at disposal?
A tiny, absolutely tiny Musalian woman steps forward, and she just sort of like gives you a little salute and walks over to one of the bodies and just starts dragging it out of the bridge like it's just nothing.
All right.
The person who had originally started talking says, yes, she will take care of it. Our first engineer, quite the constitution on her.
Good to know. And I look over at Silent 919. Should we hail the ship?
Well, are we going to leave the ransomers with the ransomees? What if
no.
we leave and they try to ransom them again?
Oh, I don't think that's going to happen now, is it? And I just stare at them like, you could try it if you want to. It's not going to end up well for you, but you could try.
They're just shaking their heads vigorously. One of them has to like stop because he does it a bit too hard.
Besides, I wasn't planning on leaving the ship. I just wanted to check in with Ilay.
So we should not throw them out into space.
They vigorously shake their even more vigorously shake their heads.
It seems the most humane of fix to ensure that they do not ransom these people again.
The person who spoke up and said that they needed to rendezvous at their destination sort of says, we do in fact have a brig on board. It's very small, but there really are only two of them that we'd need to. She keeps eyeing the dead ones that we'd need to put in there, and we can turn them over to the Trade Federation, and they can deal with them. Maybe sort of a hostage trade sort of. I don't think there's any reason to space them though.
Why not?
Well, it isn't done.
We will do what is commonly done. Take them to the brig, and they should be grateful that mercy rules this day.
They're both nodding. This woman sort of gestures to a couple of other of the Sundiata's crew members and instructs them to take them to the brig, not the bridge. You're on the bridge, also not where you want prisoners. And they both sort of nod and salute and agree, and then sort of get tripped up on what to call this woman. One of them says captain, the other one says first officer, and they both sort of look at each other and then look to this woman confused, and she sort of sighs and says, I suppose acting captain will do until we arrive.
All right. I just start cleaning off my blade on the clothes of a body that hasn't been taken yet.
The engineer comes back in and she like goes to grab that body and she like sees you wiping and she's like, I'll come back, and goes for another one, drags that one out. This acting captain turns to the two of you and says, I suppose I haven't properly thanked the two of you yet, or really asked who you are and how you found us and why you're here, but thank you from my whole crew.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
She nods and says, I'm first up, acting Captain Kiani. Might I have the names of our rescuers?
I am Captain Silent 919 of the Wistful Wish.
Invicta.
Truly a pleasure to meet you both, though in less than ideal circumstances. Is there anything that we can offer you or your ship or the rest of your crew before we part ways? I don't really know that there's anything we can offer you that is of equal value as the lives of all of us that you've saved, but we can certainly try.
I defer to Sila on this one. I mean, I got to wet my blade and the other two are in the brig, so.
Do you have any plates that are of a normal size?
She looks confused and says, yes. I mean, by normal, you just mean like plate size?
By normal, I mean not the size of a small boulder.
Oh, yes, we have sub-boulder sized flatware that we could almost certainly spare some of, since our crew's been reduced so drastically at this point. Yes, absolutely. And she tells another crew member to go to the galley and collect some flatware, normal size. She emphasizes normal sized flatware for
Utensils as well, please.
and normal sized utensils as well for the captain and Invicta.
Actually, if you could spare a setting for 6. We're on a Haathorei size ship. It makes for very interesting times when we do basically anything.
Oh, have you come from Haathorei?
No.
We are on our way.
Oh, I I wish you good fortune. It has we take this route near Haathorei constantly, and the glimpses that I've gotten are stunning. It is a place I should like to visit. I am babbling. You just saved my life. I'm very sorry. Go get. Why have you not left yet? Please go get them the table settings for 6. Go. And the crew member runs off, and she sort of looks deeply uncomfortable in her new authority as captain, but is trying her best.
From one captain to another captain, I must say that trying to bond with your crew is a great step forward to making your job that much easier and having companionship as well. Like my companion cohort, you should have a right hand as well.
You are right. I used to be the right hand, and I guess now I have to find mine. Good advice. Thank you, Captain.
You're welcome.
The rest of the crew has started to sort of get up. A few of them that have obvious positions here in the bridge are starting to go back to their stations and sort of, check systems and all of that sort of things. And the crew has sort of started breaking up. You hear a couple of them chatting amongst each other, talking about, which crew members are not here anymore and what they're going to have to cover. Eventually, the crew members that were sent off to gather your cutlery return with 6 normal sized place settings and thank you as they I don't know now. After describing the engineer, I'm just imagining this whole crew is kind of small, and so it's like a strange anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's go back to the wistful wish and have a chat to see how Ikemba is doing and what Ilay and Bertrand are up to. So Ilay, what was the last communique that you got from the Sundiata?
Last one was from the bandit, and then they sounded like shooting up the place. But the last time I communicated with my fellow crew members was suggesting how they can essentially infiltrate the bridge and giving them advice on how to do that. So that was the
right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so do you know what happened in there?
No clue. I imagine that they're taking care of it and they're really good at what they do. So they're just hoping. I'm just hoping that everything's fine over there.
Cool. So you definitely see, on like your thermal bioscan, you definitely see like several of those heat signatures are beginning to cool well beyond what healthy live person temperatures should be. Which, you can assume that is what it is.
And I would see Invicta. I would at least see Invicta, her heat signature, and probably a lot more running hot because they just got done like whooping a whole bunch of people's butts. So
for sure. Even Sila's usually somewhat understated signature is a little amped at the moment, ever so slightly, as the cooling liquids flow through her circuits and such. I'm just talking. Ikemba, feeling better, bud?
Ikemba is feeling much better. Less cheese to deal with. Obviously, still a lot of cheese left, but
a lot of cheese.
He ate a lot of cheese, so he's kind of just like walking throughout the ship, just looking to see where is everyone? Just confused.
Yeah, wanders his way eventually onto the bridge, and the only people there are Bertrand and Ilay. Yeah, Invicta and Captain Silent 919 nowhere to be seen.
Bertrand, I believe I do remember there being a ship and there being a bit of an issue with warnings and klaxons blazing, etc. Where are the crew other than us? Anyone?
You're asking. Okay, hey, I thought you were asking Bertrand. That's what
I said both names, and I was like, all
Oh,
right,
you did.
You
I
did.
didn't hear my name.
You did, and I didn't register Bertrand. I just heard Ilay, and Ilay just heard Bertrand. It's a good time.
Wow. Okay.
Ikemba's sitting there just confused, like, is anyone going to?
Well, they're both
Respond?
so well. Anyway, I don't want to speak for Ilay, but
Yeah, yeah,
Bertrand
yeah.
is so deeply tense, waiting to hear back from the other crew on the other ship that he just can't speak. So there you go.
I see that you're on the other side of it. Are
Yes.
you? Oh, okay. Well, looks like you're not all the way better. It seems like you still have the cheese sweat. So don't strain yourself too much.
The question is, does one ever get rid of the cheese sweat? Have as much cheese as I have. There's always cheese sweat.
It may take some time.
Flavorful time.
Yes. I guess we should check in with Sila 919 and Invicta. I'll hail them. Captain Silo 919 and Invicta, how goes things aboard the other ship?
We have given command over
You're
to
muted.
one of
No, not you, Christina. Tanya was muted. Sorry. Go on, Captain Silent 919.
this Captain Silent 919.
Yes.
You wanted to communicate.
Yes. Is everything okay over there? I was just seeking to know what the status is over there. If everyone is okay, the status of the crew, if the people who seem to be aggressive are dispatched.
Yes, our mission was successful. We are now getting payment in the form of a surprise.
Ah, those can be fun.
Yes. It is a treat for the crew, to be sure, and we will make our way back. We have put the capturers into the brig, and we have moved on to a surprise. We will be back shortly.
I see. Just as an update, seems like Ikemba's on the other side of what was ailing them earlier. I actually might send him to the receiving area to await your return.
Can you please inform Ikemba that this is what happens when you eat cheese that does not belong to you, that is not a gift for you, that was a gift for Invicta. These are the consequences of the choices that you have made by imbibing cheese that was not yours.
As
Ikemba just like leans into the mic and says, "The cheese was given to me, therefore it is mine. It was quite flavorful and delicious. I appreciate your concern, though. I'm much better. The sweats are minimal in comparison to what they were before. I am
My
sweating
concern
far
is
less.
minimal.
Yes, that's fair, but my taste buds are quite maximum, so it works. It's a balance, you see.
Well, considering how you fell, the cheese stands alone.
Oh.
It's alone in my quarters temporarily. We'll go and eat more of it soon. I see what you've done there. Well played.
Yes. We'll continue this later. We will
Indeed.
see you after your spacewalk.
We shall see you shortly. So Ikemba walks away from this, starts to like look for his gear.
Oh my god.
Now excitedly, just like, okay, this is fun. So he's looking for
Yeah.
his gear to like kind of slide his way over to the rest of the team.
So you see, once you've gotten all geared up, you can see at the airlock. You see the system that Ilay has rigged up Invicta and Captain Silent 919 should anything have gone wrong on their way over. So basically, you know, what you can do here is they could use that and get back on their own. It wouldn't be the most pleasant journey between ships. So you are sort of there to make sure they, you know, make it across into the ship. Don't go flying off. You've got the suit on in case you know something goes wrong and you need to really head out there. Or did you want to go over to the other ship to meet them, Ikemba?
I was planning on going over to the other ship.
Oh, great. That's fine too. Yeah, absolutely. You can get over there. Yes.
While this is all, while the Great Cheese War is happening, Invicta was listening, and then once the communication is cut, she goes over to Scylla. Scylla, I didn't give the cheese away because I don't like you. It would have made me sick to eat it. I'm a feline. I can't digest dairy. I appreciate the gift, but I would have been very sick. Ikemba enjoyed it too much.
Well,
but would you rather I be in sick bay throwing up or worse because of something I ate to spare your feelings?
That's 2. Your claws remain unlacquered, and you gave away the cheese, but I don't care. These are things that happen. These are parts of life, and I'm not upset. I don't never have to be upset.
You are upset. And I just explained why I gave Ikemba the cheese, and I didn't have time to paint my nails. We can hang out, and you can paint my nails when we're back on the ship.
Oh, you know we're gonna play that scene out.
I hate you. I don't actually hate you, but I kind of hate you right now.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I have a small oil leak, and I must make sure that all of our affairs are in order before we return back to the Wistful Wish. I will goodbye. And she's gonna walk off to go and like try to organize things while like wiping a little like oil smudge from her corner of her eye. But she feels super bad that like she showed any kind of weakness.
Aw,
God.
Scylla, she's getting there. She's getting there. I love it. So aboard the Sundiata, the crew is, you know, getting back to their stations, taking back control of the ship. They have the two of you are aware, Silent 919 and Invicta, that they have their previous captain, the body of their previous captain, and they're discussing sort of, you know, for her and for the rest of the crew that didn't make it. There aren't a ton of them on board. Most of the crew that isn't there to help them fly was taken hostage, but a few of them did die in a brief battle with the pirates. So they're sort of discussing funeral arrangements. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. And so as they're discussing that, and you all are just making sure that everything is ready for you all to part ways, Ikemba arrives at the ship. Ikemba, it's a big ship. It's not sized large like the Wistful Wish, but it's a very large Trade Federation cargo ship. And so when you step on board, you're able to get in through the airlock with no problem. When you get inside, though, it's eerily quiet, just because, well, you don't know this yet, but almost 2/3 of the crew has been taken hostage. So, you know, you're passing through. Ilay can give you directions to the bridge where your companions are, but you're passing through these corridors on this ship and just don't pass. I mean, maybe pass one other crew member on your way to the bridge, and it's quiet, you know.
Just like he's a little off, but not ridiculously so. He's been on large ships before, so it's not too surprising, but it's
sure
concerning a little bit. So he's like, as he makes his way toward where he believes the bridge is, he's getting a bit more concerned as he continues to walk.
Yeah. Definitely. And arrive at the bridge, you eventually do, and see, the crew, the officers of the crew, the remaining officers hard at work, getting the ship ready, and Silo 919 is there, doing something. Silo, what you up to? As you're trying to avoid further conversation with Invicta for the moment.
I've gone back over to the acting captain.
Great. So Sila 919 is interfacing with a woman, a female crew member, female Mosalian crew member who very quickly it becomes obvious that she is the captain of this ship, acting or otherwise. She is the captain. Invicta, what does Ikemba find you up to when he arrives in the on the bridge?
Ikemba finds me like one of the slain bodies that has not yet been cleared away. I've actually like ripped a piece of cloth off of the uniform, and I go over to Invicta and clear my throat and offer it to her for your little leak.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so Ikemba, you definitely walk in during that exchange.
Kind of glances between the two of them and just nods a little bit. So I see I've missed much.
Well, I mean, there was
That's the mission, to be sure.
decapitation.
There was decapitation and what else? Captain Silent 919, I believe you said something. I missed it.
Oh, nothing. Just commenting on your lack of being here as a member of this team, but not everyone can not have to deal with such deficiencies.
This is fair. Not all of us are Monzagene and have the ability to breathe in space. So all is well, at least in my opinion. I'm feeling much better, by the way.
I am happy for you.
And I appreciate this. So I believe there was word of decapitation. What else have I missed?
And those two, I think, can catch you up on what you missed. I would like to flash over to the Wistful Wish briefly, where Bartrand is sitting with Ilay and just turns to them and says, "Do you think they're coming back?"
Actually, it could be a toss-up. I'd like to think so.
It's been so long, and they said that they were done, and then Ikemba, I just have a concern.
Oh, I see. Bertrand, at least you have me. And also, sometimes you have to let people do what they need to do, and see if they come back, and that's okay. I'm sure they'll come back, and if they don't, well, then we can still get this water to where it needs to go.
Well, that's all true. I would hate to leave them behind, but yes, you're right. That's all true. I'm sure they'll come back. Why wouldn't they?
Have you been left before, Bertrand?
No, I had a pet once. I wasn't really a pet. It was an injured Velocidoon, and I nursed back to health. And it's funny, my friends said almost exactly what you just said, that if I must let it go if it is to go, and all of that.
Yes. A lot of the times if people come back, they come back for the better. And so do you. So, but it's okay to miss them. I certainly, I'd like them to be back for this mission. So do you want, should we communicate with them again? Would that make you feel better?
Perhaps. I should also say that I want I have grown fond of the four of you and want everyone to complete the mission together. Also, Torch will be very upset if we return with only a quarter of the agents that they sent to begin the mission with on a delivery and reconnaissance mission. I don't think they were planning on losing any of you.
No, no worries, no worries. I think we'll have them all back. You miss everyone though, including Sila 919.
As Bartrand pauses, I don't think Bartrand pauses. He just says, "Yes, of course.
Okay, sure.
Our captain must be here to see us safely to my home world."
All right. Well, I am going to be quite happy when they return as well.
All right.
And then I guess since Bertrand seems to miss them, I will. Crew members of the Listful Wish, just need a check-in again. Is everything okay over there? It seems to be that you've been there for quite a while.
Well, freeing people from their captives isn't a quick task, Ilay.
Oh, sorry that I disturbed. I was just, well, not me so much. Bertrand seemed to miss you, so I decided to miss all of you. So I decided to hail you once again for his comfort.
We shall return shortly. Now,
God, the whole crew is waiting anxiously to see what now is about to happen.
carry on. We shall go.
The acting captain Kiani of the Sundiata. Once again, thanks you all. Introduced herself briefly to Ikemba, a little confused about who he is, but happy to see another friendly face that isn't a pirate. And she assures you all that, you know, the crew seem to have gotten their workstations sorted out. They probably will hold a brief, sort of functional service of remembrance for the captain, the former captain, and the other couple of crew members. And then they will depart for that Salansi planet in the system over, where they are meant to be delivering their cargo. And from there, we'll, the Trade Federation will hopefully deal with the hostage situation, et cetera, et cetera.
Did those crew members ever come back with like the place settings, by the way?
Oh yes. Oh yeah, they did. They brought them, and they really didn't sort of have any sense of what this request was for. So they have 6 of like everything. There are like 4 different sizes of forks, and there are 6 of each size. There are like clearly like this cargo ship was either transporting fancy dinnerware, or like they went into the officers' mess and like started raiding the officers' plates, and because there are like chargers and like salad plates and all kinds of stuff. So it's quite the haul that they've brought you.
Hopefully
It's
in a
like Sunset
crate.
Space Cruise.
It's
really
exactly-
just a dinner ship.
The pirates
Nice.
they really thought they were, spices and whatever, but really they just they hijacked a space cruise ship. So they have all of that for you. They've returned that to you all. Is there anything else that you all want to take care of on the Sundiata or with the crew of the Sundiata before you head back to the Wistful Wish?
No, not for Invicta's sake. She's just kind of like staring at her blades like, I need a whetstone when we get back.
Yeah.
I do have one question.
Yeah.
Why do you suppose that you were targeted specifically? Did they say anything, the pirates, as they overtook your ship, that might give you cause to think they might come back or continue? Do you think this was random?
Well, it's hard to say. The captain believed when they first came aboard that they likely were members of the Cathartes, I've never really known how to properly say. Anyway, we're transporting some fairly standard but somewhat complex and expensive technological implements and gear, and often that's what the Cathartes target when they come a raiding.
Do you by chance have something that we could carry this cutlery and flatware? Do you have something we could,
Oh,
like a space bin,
yeah,
and
like
space Tupperware?
space Tupperware. Yes. In fact, the crew members who went to go get the flatware brought their space Tupperware, but forgot to in their confusion and somewhat nerves and just sort of overwhelmed state, they forgot to give it to you. But they hand you all of these vacuum sealed sort of containers that you're able to put them in, and they have a little button on the side of them that takes the air out of the container so that when you go on a spacewalk with it, it doesn't explode. And so they sort of seal all that up for you and hand that back to you, I should say.
So I'm gonna zip all of it up into my jacket and just press it down.
Yeah. I love that.
Thank you for your hospitality. It is the least that you could do.
She just sort of lets out a like exhausted, I don't know what else to do laugh and says, that it is. Thank you for your life-saving work.
May I tap your shoulder?
Why?
As a sign of affirmation and congratulations for making it through a tough situation.
Sure, certainly. Absolutely, you may. Thank you for asking.
I've changed my mind. Tap my hand. With your whole hand.
Oh.
Well done. We shall forever share this memory of this moment. Carry on.
And as you walk away, you hear her go, "What a strange custom. I kind of liked it, though. Felt good. Felt right." All right, the three of you can make your way back to the Wistful Wish. I should ask Ikemba, because we found out for Silent 919 and Invicta, what does your spacesuit look like? Is there anything special? Did you bring your own? Do you just have like a basic torch issue one? Anything we should know about it?
He did bring his own. It is primarily black, like an all black with blue and orange highlights.
Ooh, I like that.
Like on the shoulder pauldrons, and then like just like in streaks across it, like anywhere there is a seam or a like a wire or something like that. Those are either blue or orange, depending on the situation. He really likes blue and orange, but also like you can't really go wrong with all black everything. So he went with an all black suit originally, and then custom tailored it to fit the orange and blue highlights.
I love that. All right. So the three of you head to the airlock of the Sundiata, and Ilay, you get a little alert since you were sort of watching the ship systems when they first went in that the airlock is opening again, and that three individuals have exited from the Sundiata's airlock, and you're just sort of holding the Wistful Wish steady, I presume, Ilay.
Once I understand that they have boarded, I'm gonna check in. If everyone's boarded, I'm going to part away from the Sundiata, and I'm gonna just do a calm peel away, because that's also a very scary time when two ships have to peel away from each other. So
hate it. I hate it.
I do that and focus on that as we kind of get back to going on our journey or direction towards the planet we're supposed to be headed towards.
Yeah. And if the four of you plus Bertrand eventually, once you're back on board the Wistful Wish, want to gather on The bridge, you can see as Ilay takes you out and away from the Sundiata, you can see, you get a good view of the windows into their bridge, and you can see all of the remaining crew of the Sundiata sort of standing at the windows, saluting, and you see a little sort of what is very obviously a makeshift casket. It looks like maybe like a cargo container or something, that sort of jettisons they jettison a couple of those for their lost crew mates out, and you watch them as they sort of watch those crates float away, and eventually the figure in the middle, who is really too small at this point, you're too small to make out details, but yeah, it's fairly easy to guess that it's the acting Captain Kiani. She sort of breaks her salute, nods, you can see her sort of nod, and the whole crew disperses and starts to spool up the Sundiata, and they begin to make their way in the opposite direction from you all. Well done. You saved some merchants. Hey. All right. Bertrand reminds you all that by, fairly early tomorrow, you should arrive on Haathorei. Is there anything else we should know about before we conclude our journey on the Wistful Wish?
Invicta really wants to clean up because she's covered in blood.
Yeah.
And
it's all like freeze dried onto her now, since I guess not. I guess you put your suit on top of it. So maybe yeah, so really not great choices either way.
Yeah, so because I'm not Sila, I can't spacewalk without my suit, so I had no choice.
Right.
And since I have to like get cleaned up and clean my spacesuit, I very begrudgingly, Sila, since I must bathe the blood of my enemies off anyway, and I'll be in casual clothing until we arrive at Haathorei, we can do your nail lacquering after dinner. Is that suitable?
Yeah, sure. If that's what you want.
And Invicta just tilts her head like, this is not Sila speak. Like, whomst are you?
I was just gonna keep like playing it cool. I'm just like, no, I mean, if you want to paint your claws, I wouldn't say that I object to hanging out with you to paint them and having not cheese.
Well, I'd be using the lacquer you gave me since you seemed upset that I didn't use it yet.
I'm Monscani. I don't generally get upset. I don't generally have any emotions. It's not my basic protocol.
Sure, Sila. I'll see you in my quarters after dinner.
Very well then. So I was gonna turn around and walk off and just kind of look back and forth. Notice that no one is there. Just go. Just triumphantly like pump her fist.
Precious and perfect. I love it. Now, Sila, you do have something else, which is of course your gift to the crew. So what are we doing with those Tupperwares that you made, that you probably made Ikemba help you carry over, just because there were so many, not that they're, I mean, you were in space, the weight doesn't really matter, but there was just a bunch of them to get over. So what are you doing with those?
She's going to go and set the table and just place everything out, like one at each seat, but leave Bertrand's normal for Bertrand size flatware and plates there, but for everyone else have like them sized silverware and flatware. And then she's going to call everyone into the dining hall.
All right, so you all get the all call after you've had some time. Invicta, you've had time to get cleaned up. Ikemba, any details that you need filled in on, or additional cheese recovery time that you need has been taken. Ilay, you've had a bit of time to set things back on autopilot, get it off manual control and all that. And so you all hear the all call and gather in the mess, in the galley. No, not the galley. That's where they make the food. In the mess, and you see your new place settings.
Oh,
Surprise.
this is wonderful.
This is fantastic.
Where did you acquire these? On the Sundiata?
These are the spoils of our victory.
Oh, they're wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Indeed, thank you.
Bertrand
Well,
comes in and looks at them and sort of like obviously fake, like looks deflated and sad for like a moment, and then sort of lets out a hearty laugh and congratulates you on the spoils of your victory.
thank you, Bertrand. Although you'll still see us serve out of your big bowls and big dishware. So I mean, it's not all lost.
That perks him up a little bit more. He wasn't actually disappointed, but that does visibly make him kind of happy.
Bertrand.
Ah.
It is actually an aesthetic style to have larger serving plates than you do your actual plates. So you now have an even more stylish setting than you had prior.
Oh, I do like a good modern sensibility in my decor.
You are welcome.
All right. So dinner is excellent again, and as much fun as we had with our dinner last time. I am so very eager to find out what Invicta and Silent 919 Slumber Party is like. So dinner is wrapping up. You're all still at the table in the mess. Bertrand is bustling about, putting things away and tossing things back in the galley and everything. What does the conversation come around to by the end of dinner here before we split off?
I'll crack like Ilay is probably going to crack a joke about not having dairy at the table for the majority of people because everyone seems not to process it well. Well, Ilay probably does, but that probably ends dinner with like a small little joke, I guess.
I love that. No cheese for dessert, eh?
Yeah, hold the cheesecake, not from Cheesecake Factory, please.
Invicta will remember that.
Oh. Sila and Ikemba?
You have one story from our victory. Would you care to hear?
Oh, of course.
As we were in the vents, I saw two of the pirates beneath us, and I reached out with my braids and I slapped their heads together and I said, 2 heads are better than 1.
I like this.
That's
You were there.
I was, but I didn't see what you had done, so I had no idea what your joke was about.
Now you get the context.
Eh.
Great laugh. Huh?
I've been laughing. I've quietly laughed so as to not overdo my cheese sweats. Because there is still cheese in my quotas, and I will still be eating this cheese. I will eat less than I have previously, though.
Told y'all we got to create a 7th stress category for cheese.
This is true. Because cheese.
I love it.
You know that's going to really go in the book, right?
Oh, for sure.
Perfect.
I'm trying to think. Bertrand has sort of finished cleaning up, and lets y'all know that should be good until planetfall tomorrow, so you all can have your evenings. All right, Sila, are you now? You're playing it cool, So is Sila gonna say anything about this nail lacquer party that was promised?
I'm really excited. I'm really when you actually do see it, she's gotten up from the table. She's in the mirror practicing how to respond. Like, she's walked away to the bathroom to just kind of like look in the mirror and be like, I am pleased to I'm hey, hello. Um, welcome to your room. No, that's not it. Non-dairy.
Oh, my whole heart.
Invicta. Hello. Okay, I'm ready. And she's also like
Uh,
gonna go sneak over and just kind of like she's gonna change her hair a little bit, like fix her mask, like line it up,
and
and
adjust her
just put a
face.
little
Love
bit
it.
of like gold in the crack right here.
Ooh, oh,
Like,
okay.
are we hanging out or is this turned into a date?
She's just getting ready and making non-permanent changes to spruce herself up. Ooh,
I always get more dressed up for dates with my friends than I do with my dates.
real life.
I mean, no,
Legit,
it could
legit.
eventually. You don't know. You don't know. You don't know my life. But no, it's like she's just like excited and getting all like together, and she's gonna go and go back. Are we back at the table, or are we going? Are we separating?
Oh, I think y'all have separated. I am desperately trying to get you two in a room together to do each other's nails.
Okay. So I'm gonna grab some little like nail. What's that doggone stuff called? You know what I mean? Nail remover,
Yep.
some acetone,
Uh-huh.
and some nail lacquer. And
Just make sure you get nail polish remover and not nail remover. The pliers and the acetone are two different things, Captain Silent 919.
oh, okay. So she's gonna correct that, and then she's gonna keep going. And
The voice of the storyteller is like, no, Sila, the other one.
you
I
want me
can
to
just
spell
imagine
these?
if you rolled up to the door with some pliers.
Like a hammer.
Oh no.
Oh,
all right. So you got the acetone, you got the other supplies, and off you head.
yes. I also
Alright.
have a sausage log.
Oh yeah. All
Not
right.
it's not said not dairy.
I
That's
know,
right. It's meat for a carnivore.
my brain is just going to like those Christmas gift baskets that are like well,
It was in her room when she got on the ship.
That's
Bertram
right.
put
Yeah,
those
torch
little gift baskets there.
See, you all have the sausage log and the wheel of cheese. She's just recycling what Torch and Bertrand had as welcome gifts. No.
We got the soaps that dry you out that you can't actually use.
Oh,
the whole nine.
God.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that feeling. Anyway.
Walnuts.
Walnuts.
with
Yes.
no
Maybe a
nutcracker.
can of Pringles. All right. So there's your Captain Invicta at your door, it seems, with quite the supply.
I open the door and I'm like, and I just gotta step aside and let her in, like, surprised that you have food. But anyway, have a seat. Like, this is weird and awkward for Invicta too. So she's like, what's happening?
This is quite the pair for a slumber party-esque moment. I can't wait.
Yeah, so Invicta has so this is an out of character question.
Okay.
Mensagene don't really need to eat per se, but would you enjoy a fine, like, well cleaned glass of oil?
Oh.
Like really well strained, like a high grade of motor oil.
In a martini glass?
Sure.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Deal.
What do space martini glasses look like we know them, or is there a different shape for a standard space martini?
Okay, so think like in the Jetsons, how there's always that slight little curve. So it's still like what you would think in your mind, but there's a slight curve to the top of it. Like they
I
come.
love that. I also knew you would have an answer when I asked that question. So yeah, absolutely. So Invicta has that then full of high grade motor oil.
Yes, and it's like on a not a warming tray because we don't want it to catch fire, but it is at a temperature amenable to a Mansagene. She's done a little research. And it's poured, and she's trying, bless her little carnivorous heart. She's got the nail lacquer that Sila gave her and another one that she found, and she's got what she searched for and decided were implements for this ritual of painting your claws. She's very confused.
Yeah.
So Skyla hasn't said anything this entire time yet because of all the practicing of what to actually say. And you would think that this highly advanced mental athlete, Olympian, really, if you really think about it, would handle this situation. But she just goes, "Hey, what's up? Welcome to your room. Here we, Invicta, hello."
Are you functional? I'm just here, some oil for you.
Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you. Great. Love oil. Favorite. Friendship.
I guess so.
um so how may I touch your paw?
Sure. So Invicta is like shut the door and has like I guess wine or beer or whatever. And so the paw that is not being lacquered, she can take a drink from because she's like, I'm gonna need alcohol for this, y'all. And so she like extends she actually makes a point of extending her claws like a cat would, like a house cat would. And it's like, there you go.
So how about that adventure today and other points of conversation that one would generally talk about if you were bonding after a shared mutual experience?
Well, I mean, I did get to kill people, so it was a good day.
How did that make you feel?
Glorious.
And this is a thing you strive for often.
I mean, I don't set out to murder people every day, but they were bad people and we got to save the ship, so.
Yes. What a time that was had. We did. I stood by as you stabbed that person through the floor, but I must have felt like a looks at the notes on her hand and says, "Power move."
Are you reading? So are these written on Sila's hand or do you have like a notepad?
No, she wrote because she's just gonna make it disappear off of her hand as soon as possible. But she took like kind of like with an Apple pencil and you write on the screen and you're just like, so that's what she's doing on her actual hand and just kind of like
Okay.
wiping it away. Like just pulls up a little screen. And just no.
Sila,
Invicta.
modulation is the key. You
Invicta.
you don't need to write notes on your hand to talk to me. What did I tell you on the ship?
would you give me the date and time and specific conversation that we were in the midst of? Is there a particular date? Would this be in the last 24 hours? And she's like scanning through files of conversation with Invicta to see if she can pull whatever it was.
Oh. Oh.
Don't worry, I have files on everyone.
Scylla. And so she starts to reach for Scylla's hand. It's like, may I take your hand? Oh, goodness. And she does like I'm trying to like get you to realize that answers are not in a book. Emotions are not easy. And she is, Scylla, look at me. You can just learn to talk to me like a person. You don't need notes on what I might like. You don't need notes on how to strike up a conversation. That's the part about emotions that's scary, because no one thing is going to fit anyone else. There's no book or script that you can pick up that will teach you how to interface with others successfully. I know that you are not liking having emotions, and I'll let you in on a little secret. I don't like them much either, but since I'm organic, I don't get a choice. You, my Mansugene friend, could get rid of them if you so choose. It would probably be a very boring mechanical life if you did. But as much as we fuss and we've gotten off on the wrong foot, learning how to master your emotions is one of the best lessons you can learn. But you're going to have to do it with everyone you meet. Because what I like is probably not what Ikemba likes, or Ilay, or Bertrand, or the people that we met on the ship. There is no note taking your way into getting to know people. There is no trying to befriend people into understanding you. And it's okay to leak a little oil once in a while. Do you understand me?
So I don't need to give everyone cheese and sausage. I just need to talk to them.
Yes. I mean, some people like cheese and sausage. I prefer sausage, as cheese will make me very sick. You are very smart and know that a feline biological species such as my own cannot digest dairy, especially of some creatures. And I would
Which is
not
why I
like to
bought
be
you sausage.
correct, but you did not know
Non-dairy.
that at first. And you gave me the cheese, and you seemed very upset that I shared that with Ikemba, because you saw your gift as being rejected when it wasn't.
So
It wasn't a
Ikemba is not the
rejection.
taker of cheese.
No, he is not the taker of cheese. He merely benefited from the fact that I could not enjoy it. I know you were trying, and I know this is hard for you, which is why we're having this conversation. Because normally, anyone who's made such a bad initial impression upon me would not be someone I'd talk to twice, let alone go on a mission with or let into my quarters. So I'm trying and you're trying, but put the notes away. Stop reading books to figure people out. Just talk to them. Find out what they like. Find out what you have in common. And see where you go from there.
Very well then. Excuse me. And Sila's going to leave, go up to her quarters, call down to Ilay, Ikemba, Bertrand, and back to Invicta. Say, crew, please report to the captain's quarters. Thank you. Captain Sila 919.
Invicta's very confused now, and she's got one paw that's done. like one set of claws is lacquer, the other is still like, okay, that was weird, but maybe she's learning.
Invicta, bring the polish.
All right, Captain. And she brings it with her. She like stuffs it in a pocket and is like, she's just like, you know how you open those like sausage logs? She basically just cuts an end off and starts peeling it and is gnawing on it on the way up to her quarters.
Ben, Ilay, do you two heed the call from your captain as well?
Sure do.
Definitely.
Oh my goodness. What do your 3 crew members find upon their arrival in the captain's quarters? Captain Silent 919. Bertrand is there too, I should say. 5. So your
Bertrand
4.
is there as well.
Absolutely he is.
So I assume I took a couple of minutes while everyone was gathering up.
Mhm.
I now have multiple sausage logs, some drinks, and different things. Welcome to bonding. Tonight we will have conversation and sausage and cheese. Please enjoy my space. Please enjoy my space. Modulation. She looks at Invicta and just like,
Better, but remember to modulate the key when you wish to debate with others.
don't modulate the key, then that's a big
B?
okay. But yeah, she's
theater.
going to invite everyone into her space as a means of following Invicta's advice immediately. She's trying to learn these lessons as they happen and enact them.
Yes. Yes. And so there the 5 of you are squeezed into the captain's cabin all together. Fortunately, it's Haathorei sized, right? So at least it was already big. But the 5 of you pass what I can only imagine is a delightful evening, having libations, having meat, some of you having cheese, some of you having your nails painted, and what a delightful way to spend your final night amongst the stars before your arrival on Haathorei, which is the first thing that we'll do when we come back from break. After the whole first half of our series, we are arriving at Haathorei. There is so much to do here. I'm so excited to introduce this planet to everybody. But before we do that, let us go ahead and take a quick break. We are all going to have a moment to get what we need, have a bio, grab some water, hydrate, whatever it is that needs to happen. And you all should do the same. Take care of yourselves, hydrate, stand up, stretch, and we will be back with you shortly. Enjoy this week's fan art as we are on break, and we will be back with Planetfall on Haathorei in just a few minutes. Thanks, everybody.
Ilay.
back, everybody. It's good that you didn't hear me. I did a very strange voice, and then I didn't really know why, and sort of let it peter out. It's for the best that I was muted. Welcome back. Hope that you all got what you needed, hydrated, stretched, bioed, got libations. Cheers. Happy Sunday. And are ready for planetfall on Haathorei. Hope you enjoyed all of that lovely fan art. Some really great stuff. There's always a couple of pieces that I have not seen over the course of the week, and I get so excited when I get to see them here. Just a reminder, it looks like the giveaway is, I believe it's still open in chat. Mods, keep an eye on the mods. They'll tell you how to enter, but we are giving away a blue Yeti X microphone this evening, so be sure and keep an eye on chat and follow the instructions of the mods so that you can enter that and then win it at the end of the stream. Should we get to Haathorei, y'all?
Maybe.
No, please, let me rephrase. Can we please get to Haathorei? Great. So you all spend that lovely evening together in your captain's quarters, getting to know each other, finally getting, you have survived the static, you survived pirates, you are almost to your destination. You finally get to let off some steam together that night. And the next day, as you all wake up and report to your duty stations, you can see in the distance, you still got a couple of hours probably, but you can now see the planet of Haathorei in the distance, and it is an absolute riot of green. Every imaginable shade of green. There are dark forest greens of, well, forests, plentiful, broad, expansive forests on the surface. There are also that sort of lighter green of grasslands and prairie spaces, rolling hills. From this distance, what you all notice most is sort of most noticeably different from Musalia, where all of you have your homes, your primary homes, is that there seem to be, at least from this extreme altitude, there seems to be a whole lot less water formations than one might expect on a habitated planet, which to some extent you all is not so surprising, because you all are here to bring a cargo of much needed water. But there also just don't seem like it's not like you're seeing empty lakes. You just don't see a ton of natural water formations or notice them from out at this distance. But in a couple of hours, you all will reach sort of the border of the upper atmosphere. Bertrand tells you, or has told you, that the re-entry of the atmosphere of Haathorei is an automated process, but once you are into the atmosphere, the ship will need to be piloted to the irrigation center of the planet and of the capital city of Haathorei. But it'll be a good chance. Bertrand is clearly very excited to show you his home. So he's excited that you all have a reason other than his low-key tour to be on the bridge, because the ship will need to be piloted manually to that location. Anything we're doing in preparation for atmospheric re-entry and then manual piloting to your destination?
Since we hopefully won't need to shoot anything on the way down, I'm going to take up a spot on the bridge.
Great.
And be in place for anything that may happen between us and touching down.
Great. Ikemba, as the other tactical officer on the Wistful Wish at the moment, where are you going to be?
I'm going to be at my station.
Okay.
Ikemba's still just like, even though he doesn't expect combat, he doesn't like to not be at his controls until landing has happened. So he's just going to be there, kind of scanning, making sure nothing's out of whack, even though it's a entirely new planet for him. He still knows when people are locking weapons. So he's just going to keep an eye out.
Excellent. Bertrand will be in the engine room for atmospheric re-entry. He's got a jump seat there that he can strap into and just likes to keep an eye on things. But once you're back in the atmosphere, he'll join you all on the bridge. Ilay and Captain Silent 919, you two at your stations on the bridge as normal?
Yeah, I believe so.
Captain Silent 919 is charging as they prepare to go down, and also uploading maps of Haathorei and familiarizing herself with just history of the planet.
Great. Yeah, and some of that will come out as you all do your flyby of a good chunk of the planet on your way to the irrigation system. So a couple of hours pass, preparations are made, and the ship's alarms and notification systems start to go off, not because anything is the matter, but to let you all know that the re-entry autopilot has been engaged, and all ship's crew are encouraged to take your seats and strap in. Apparently that is the ship's voice. No, probably not. It would definitely be more Haathorei. But it does tell you to strap in. Most of you have experienced atmospheric re-entry before, and if you haven't, you know, either from research, reading, or just one of your companions telling you, even in a ship this size and even automated, re-entry can be a bumpy experience. So the ship begins to descend. And the first thing that you notice is that, you know, there was always the sound of the ship's engines and the thrusters when they needed to be employed. But generally, space travel is a fairly quiet affair. You know, the engines don't need to be engaged at all times, because once the ship has the inertia and is going, only adjustments are needed, not a constant burn. So it's been, you know, for as much activity as there's been over the last several days, it's been a fairly quiet trip. So the first thing you all notice once you're strapped in and beginning to descend through the atmosphere is the sound. It's loud for sure, though whether or not it's as loud as it seems, or it's just been the relative quiet that has sort of resensitized your ears, there is sort of just a dull roar, a wind-like sound that has just been absent for days, that is all over the ship and gets louder and louder. The other thing that you notice is, of course, out the windows that you all can see from either your tactical station Ikemba or from the bridge for the rest of you. The outer hull of the ship is well shielded, but the shields themselves are obviously, it's good that they're there because they are flashing and lighting up and beginning to glow as the sudden existence of friction on you all as you descend through the atmosphere fairly quickly heats up this protective shield around the ship. And all of a sudden, there is a sort of lurching feeling. And those of you who have re-entered atmosphere before know to expect this. There is this sort of moment where the planet's gravity takes full hold, but the ship's gravity needs a moment to sort of disengage. And so there's this awful sort of crushing, heavy feeling just for a moment. And then there's sort of a release. There's a little pop. Gravity returns to normal for you all, and though there is still more noise than there was in space, the sound has reduced. That sort of glowing, sparking, popping shield lights, those have settled, and you all find yourself flying above a vast forest of bright, brilliant shades of green. Even the darkest greens seem to glint in the sunlight. The sun is just sort of, you get the feeling that maybe Bertrand might have done his best to plan it this way, that as you all are descending into the atmosphere, the sun for this system is just rising over the far horizon. And so you see as this forest below you just is lit up and sparkling from the early morning sun. And it flies beneath you. You are clearly, you know, you're still fairly high up, though you are in the atmosphere now. The ship is moving very quickly. And you can hear Bertrand as he excitedly comes racing into the bridge. The ship notifies you all, but you in particular, Captain Silent 919, that the autopilot will be disengaging in 30 seconds. And so to prepare for manual navigation to the irrigation site. And Bertrand arrives and just joyfully sort of trumpets and says, "Welcome to Haathorei, my home."
Beautiful. Was this planned? This perfect, picturesque, beautiful descent. into the sun.
Well, I could have given the engines a bit of a goose and gotten us here sooner, but I thought the timing as naturally occurred would be ideal for your first sight of my home.
You're quite the salesman, Bertrand. Well played.
Thank you. I hope you enjoy. These forests are still quite far from the capital city and my home, but you can just see some of the farming outposts beginning to appear below us. And you all can, in fact, see that every now and again, sort of in the trees, it looks like these farms, at least here on the edges of this forest, have not cleared the trees from around them, but are indeed finding some way to farm within the forest itself. You see all of these farm buildings, these farmhouses. They're incredibly wrought. The architecture is complex and beautiful and clearly very large. Even from this altitude, you can tell they big. And what's maybe the most impressive about them is that these farms, from what you can see of them, obviously you can't get a full clear view of them because there is a canopy of trees, but from what you can see, they seem to, they aren't built from nature like Solansi settlements often are, but they are built within nature rather than clearing nature to create space for these farms. They have done their best to build within the constraints of the forest, and it's really quite impressive. You eventually sort of burst, the forest bursts beneath you and ends, and you are out on a sort of prairie grassland area, rolling hills, sort of light greens and yellows, and there is a herd of creatures sort of running underneath the ship, and Bertrand points to them and says, "Ah, yes, the herd of Boreada. Excellent. Boviata. I'm sorry, I misread my own handwriting. A herd of Boviata beneath us." And as you pass closer, you can see that they look almost like we as Earth humans would recognize bulls, some sort of bovine creature, but these have 3 horns, almost like a triceratops, and are much, much larger, and with this long, sort of dark gray fur, and they are running beneath you, but the ship overtakes them as you pass, and now you see more of the more farms, but these are out on the grasslands and are much more visible. You begin to notice that every dwelling, every building, every construction that you see has an identical twist, turn, elbow of piping, and it is exactly the same size and shape on every dwelling, every building that you fly over. And you only notice it because it's so repetitive once you start seeing more and more farms. This sort of elbow of what looks like a sort of rose gold piping at every single house. As you continue on your flyby, your flyover, you do begin to see small little lakes and ponds and streams and things like that. And each of those also has somewhere on it this elbow of rose gold piping. And Bertrand is, sort of showing off all of the different animals that go by and the farms, and keeping you up to date on how distant you are from the capital city. But it's a lot of this as you all travel. So I want to give you all a moment before I continue to bloviate about Haathorei to respond if any of you would like to, or to ask Bertrand questions or anything as you're flying over. Nothing too hard. I don't have all the information on Haathorei yet. Please don't ask me about the 6th Emperor of Haathorei. I don't know.
Now that you said that,
I know, right?
come on, as a storyteller, don't give your players a fish hook like that.
To be fair, Haathorei doesn't have emperors, nor has it ever had emperors. So I do know about the 6th Haathorei emperor, which is that he didn't exist.
I do want to say that as they go past the little biceratops with the 3 little horns or whatnot, that's a bison, Styla actually gets really excited
Oh,
and jumps out of her seat and runs to the window and it's like, I read about these in Haathorei, a history. Ooh.
I jump back on the piloting controls.
Let me have a moment of weakness here.
I mean, yes, go ahead. I'm
5%
saying you
of
can
the
do
time,
that.
let me-
I mean, we just
they're covering for you. They cover for
Oh,
you,
let
Captain.
me steer with my hair because
okay, okay. We're good then.
I'm happy,
Oh,
son. I'm prepared. I am prepared.
I
Call me
love
the
it.
captain because I'm prepared.
All right, yeah,
Because
Cap,
that's
you
my
got it.
title. Yes, I'm very excited.
I
And
love
then I'll
that.
to my seat.
Invicta, checks everything at her station and looks out, and she notices what were the creatures again with the 3 horns?
The
Boviata.
3-horned bovines are boviata. Yeah.
The boviata, and she's looking over at them. She's like, my ancestors hunted those, either for sport or for food. They're still a delicacy since we don't get them much outside of Haathorei.
Bertrand chimes in and says, yes, we did quite a brisk trade in boviata exports, but we realized that we had perhaps opened the floodgates, an old saying on Haathorei, a bit too wide, and their numbers were dwindling. So yes, it's become quite the rare delicacy until we can build their numbers back up safely. You might be interested in these, Invicta. Fierce predators they are. And Bertrand indicates you all have flown over a sort of smaller, localized forest, and you don't at first see what he's indicating because they are very well camouflaged, but there are these sort of green and black modeled almost enormous what look like probably predator cats. They each have 6 legs and they are moving ever so fluidly through the forests. And he says, the Leopara, fierce predators, wonderful companions, though, if they decide to take a liking to you. They just don't do that very often.
I've heard of them, but I've never seen one in person.
Well, to be honest, I've never seen one up close either. If I'm being fully candid, they actually terrify me.
Oh, come now. You're not afraid of cats. I mean, after all, I'm here.
Oh, well, of course, but you have, a certain charm about you.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes, all of you. I don't get to spend much time with anyone but other Haathoraians, and might I say, they're a bit, reserved and, proper. It gets me into a bit of trouble. They say I'm quite the modern Haathoraian, really.
Are you the model of a...
Modern Haathoraian engineer, yes, indeed.
Yes.
There's a few more syllables than it felt like should go. There was something sing-songy about that exchange. Anyway, Ilay and Ikemba. I stand corrected. It works perfectly. Ikemba and Ilay, anything?
Yes, this place seems quite exciting, and yes, I'm excited to actually touch down and feel the ground once again, and that's essentially where Ilay is at. Just kind of almost as excited as Silai 919.
Bertrand, when you say that, Bertrand gets sort of a funny look, but doesn't just nods and says, yes.
Ikemba is firmly fixed on his screens, just impressed. Just, this is beautiful. Just gets more beautiful by the minute. I love this. Thank you for the view.
Bertrand says, oh, just wait. And as it's if you didn't know better, you would think he practiced, because the timing is so spot on. As he says that, the ship sort of crests over a slightly sort of taller hill that had blocked your view of what was beyond it, and you see what must be the capital city of Haathorei. You see laid out before you this shining city, this unbelievably ornate, graceful, beautiful, very large city that sits in the distance, sort of in the center of what, from this altitude and from this distance, you can see are sort of three enormous lakes. And Bertrand points and says, "Ah, home." And there is just this incredible city, these three enormous lakes, and Bertrand is sort of watching you see this sight for the first time, and he says, "Do you see it yet?"
You mean the city?
Well, yes, of course, but do you see it yet?
Not yet.
As you all get a little closer, the angle of the lakes just sort of continues to change, and it's almost like a magic eye picture that finally, when you're in the right spot, sort of almost not quite directly above the city, but you know, a little closer to it, the image lines up, and you realize that these three lakes are almost shaped, if you're in the exact right spot and you squint a little, but you're sure this is what Bertrand is talking about. These lakes are almost in the shape of two sort of large, irregular elephant ears and an elephant trunk, with the city sort of right at the center of the three. And Bertrand is watching the four of you like a hawk to see if and when you notice this exciting geographical feature that he is so thrilled about.
Goodness.
This
That
is
Do you see it as well, Ilay?
yes, it's quite beautiful. I haven't seen anything like this. I've never visited Haathorei before.
The architecture, it's exquisite. There's no better word.
Oh, thank you. And now that I can see that you have seen, completely natural, at least as far as the histories can tell us. Completely no, well, not the city, of course, but the lakes formations. We found it that way. Well, sort of, he says, but near enough that it's a good story to tell.
Indeed.
As you continue to approach, you see even more detail, and what you thought up until this point, what you may have what you could be excused for thinking was just sunlight glinting off of the surface of these three lakes. And of course the city is shining, and so it's also sort of reflecting the sunlight in strange and exciting ways. But as you get even closer, you realize that it's not just the reflection of sunlight off of the water and the buildings. There are, coming out of the surface of the center, or near enough to the center of each of the three lakes, are I need more words for big, very large versions of those rose gold pipe elbows that you saw at every other site on this planet. These are enormous pipes made out of the same material that come from the center of each of the three lakes and go towards hundreds, maybe 1,000 feet in the air eventually, but all converge right above the capital city. They converge there, and there's sort of an enormous platform that is created there. You can see there are buildings on this platform above the city where the pipes meet, and they seem to meet at one building in particular, and they must come together within that building, because then rising from the center of that building is an even sort of thicker and even larger diameter pipe that shoots up into the sky and beyond. You can't see the end of it. It is extending into the heavens as far as you're able to see.
This piques Invicta's interest because she's like, engineer brain, what little there is of it has perked up, has entered the chat. And she like leans forward and she's like doing like the most awkward, like when cats get in very strange positions and you're like, how is that at all comfortable? Much like children also do. And you're like, you have no bones right now. And she's doing like the awkward cat, like, how does this work? And she just looks back at Bertrand. Sky water? What?
Bertrand lets out a hearty laugh and says, actually, Invicta, closer than you may think, yes. You see, where did I put the names of these things? Here we are. You see, these are our irrigation pipes. You may have noticed that previously there were very few natural water sources that we flew over. Haathorei is a unique planet. Presumably, at some point in its history, it must have been full of life-giving water, because we can see evidence of it in the archaeological record. However, Haathorei today is nearly completely devoid of natural water. We have no water table like Musalia has. We have no underground aquifers or wells. We have no natural source of water here on this planet at all. But the ingenuity of our engineers solved that problem with the crown. And he gestures to this piping system, and you can see how it sort of almost looks like a crown sitting, sort of encasing the city. The way that the three prongs come together with a sort of disc at the top and then continue on. He says, this irrigation system actually brings water from our closest moon, which is a great source of frozen, of course, water. That water is brought from the moon to the surface, normally in such quantities as to keep these lakes plentiful and filled. Of course, bodies of water this size will naturally begin to integrate themselves into the meteorological systems of the planet, but without a natural source of replenishment, we must constantly pipe more to the surface.
So we came through space.
Yeah.
To bring you water.
Yeah.
When you get it from the moon.
That is the long and short of it, yes, Invicta.
So why did we bring you water if you get it from the moon?
Yes, well, that is the question, isn't it? The station master of the irrigation station will undoubtedly have more information, but what I was told was that the output here planet side has decreased significantly of late. What we are hoping to determine is whether that is a planet side problem or a moon side problem, but we have not been receiving water at the rate that is required to keep these lakes functioning fully. And you can sort of see now that you're basically on top of the trunk lake at this point, and you can definitely see that there is a high water line, and the current water level of the lake is quite a ways from that high water line.
It's like Lake Mead.
Yeah. So he sort of points that out and says, so that's what we will need to determine.
And she pulls out her notebook and she just starts making notes, because this like engineer brain is clicked on, and she's like, this doesn't make any sense at all. And there's moon water, and we brought water. And she's just
Yeah.
like grumbling and making notes.
Yeah, it should be said that Invicta's confusion about this whole sort of the existence of this irrigation system is well founded. It can be hard to indicate in a sci-fi game, and particularly in a sci-fi game set in a brand new setting that no one really knows very well. It can be hard to indicate what's actually weird and what's just weird to our like modern Earth sensibilities. This is weird for the Motherland setting, right? Like
Okay.
planets should have their own dang water. This is peculiar. So yes, your Invicta's confusion and curiosity is well founded.
Okay, so while this is going on, she just starts like you see her like eschewing the notebook and just going to the ship's computer and like trying to look up things about Haathorei's water situation because this makes like her brain is just stuck on, but you have a water source, but we brought you water. It's all in space. Why are we doing this? Like it's just the gears have kicked in.
Totally. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anyone else have anything before you all approach the jewel of the crown, the irrigation station?
Yep, my ally is looking at the magazine, The Modern Haathorei, and he's looking that they're looking at essentially like lunar liquid water. It was just like a part of the advertising inside of that Modern Haathorei magazine. And also the crown jewelry, just like premiering like all this jewelry and like all these diamonds and watches and stuff. It's just a whole thing. Like
It's a whole
they're just
thing.
they're just peeling through the magazine.
I love it. I love it. Anything else? All right. So Bertrand Sila 919 Bertrand lets you know that there is a port and a hangar actually on the crown, on the crown, the top of that platform on top of the crown, and that you all, the Wistful Wish and you all are expected, and so you should head that way. And ground control, once you approach, will give you the proper landing procedure and all of that. Oh, muted.
Ground.
Oh, and back now.
Oh, that entire time, all I could hear was like, "This is ground controlled, Major Tom," in my head.
Got controlled Major
And I was
Silo.
like, so yeah. Anyway, hi. Captain Silent 919 prepares for the descent. She gets everything in order. She calls down to ground control. Says, "We are preparing for landing. This is the Wistful Wish. We are expected."
Wistful Wish. You
Bertrand?
are cleared to no. And you see, if any of you have eyes on Bertrand in that moment, you see a look of panic like you have never seen before. And Bertrand runs over and, like, without asking permission, like, hits the button to turn to like mute comms and says, "Oh, I should have mentioned. I am, as I said, a very modern Haathorei, but most of the people in our culture do not address each other by name. I am fine with you all addressing me as Bertrand. We are friends, I would like to think, but upon the surface, relations and positions are generally used. Likely, you will not know anyone's position on the planet until some time has passed. So simply follow my method of address as best you can. This individual should be referred to." Should be referred to as ground control only. It is more polite, you see.
Ground control only. This is Captain Silent 919. This is Captain Silent 919 to ground control only.
Bertrand just sort of buries his face and his feet or his hands and just sort of shakes his head, but it's closer, so he'll take it. There's a brief confused pause, and ground control replies, "Yes, you are cleared to land. Coordinates locked. Proceed and allow for descent onto the crown."
Copy. Crew, is everyone in position?
Yes.
Yes.
Ikemba?
No, Bertrand says all of a sudden, goes, no, and runs to the back to the engine room.
I don't know why. I just picture Ikemba the whole time, like just listening to us and like and just munching on cheese as he listens to
I
us.
feel like that is literally the mood of Ikemba for the remainder of this trip. As long as that cheese wheel exists, he is always holding on to just, what flavor of cheese is this? This is delicious. And just nonstop at that cheese. Like, if you are wondering if Ikemba's not doing an action, he's probably eating cheese.
And somehow you've made sure that like it doesn't turn. It's like that cheese that comes in those gift baskets where you're like, you want to know how long it's been in there, but you also don't want to know how long it's been in there. Because for some reason, the chemicals have made it taste really good.
Dehydrated space cheese.
There you go.
Yeah.
We spent lots of time in space. I figured out many ways to make my cheese last as long as possible. Randomly, there will be slices of cheese placed around the ship. And nobody knows where they are, but you'll see Ikemba in the room and just like, you'll be having a conversation and just out of nowhere, just like.
It's perfect. Also, I would like for that to be like me in real life. God, if I could just reach over and find cheese, amazing.
Right.
Video game logic. Video game logic.
Truly.
In my mind, he's truly eating the most amazing smoked Gouda that has ever existed, because the smoked Gouda is amongst my favorite cheeses.
Oh, really?
Good choice. Good choice.
All right.
I love it. All right. So Captain Silent 919 brings the ship in. The size of the platform above the crown here is shocking. As the closer you get, you sort of think, oh, we must be close by now. Oh no, now we must be close. Oh, we must be so close right now. And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. This city is clearly enormous. And so the crown that tops it is equally large. There are several different buildings and constructions here on top of the crown. But it's very obvious which one is the irrigation station, because it's right at the center and it has that piping coming out of it. The hangar and ship's port is sort of way off to one side of the platform on the crown, and you set down, and immediately you all can see, as you all are sort of unstrapping and getting ready to step out of the ship and onto, well, not onto the ground, but onto a planet for the first time in a while. You can see several Haathorei individuals, all, variations on a theme, all elephantine humanoids, upright, varying sizes of ears and such. And they run and quickly approach the ship and sort of do all the safety checks from the outside. And Bertrand is just giddy with excitement to A, get off the ship, and B, be home. And he says, just be prepared. They will almost certainly have planned some sort of a welcome for you. The situation is quite dire, and we have, everyone here has been anxiously awaiting assistance from off-planet. Brilliant architects though we may be, and engineers, we're not so great with software and updating technologies and things like that. We are largely a simple folk, Anyway, all that to say, there will be and as Bartran is about to say welcome, the door, the sort of large cargo hatch to the Wistful Wish opens, and there is a cacophony of elephantine trumpeting that welcomes you all. Cheers, Haathorei, cheers, as the cargo bay doors open, and Bertrand goes, like I said, time to go meet your fans.
What?
I believe you mean your fans.
Oh
no, not I.
They're very excited to see you. Only me, insofar as I brought the four of you.
I'm not overheated in the least.
I don't believe you get it. Bertrand is talking about the fans.
Oh,
At least that's what I believe she's talking about.
Maybe fan was an imprecise. We should really not keep them waiting. We should. Yes.
Ilay's gonna just be the first one to step out.
Great. I love it. When you do, you see that here on, and those of you who follow will obviously also see that there is quite the crowd that has gathered. They are all wearing, very obviously wearing uniforms, all the same. This enormous crowd, and right next to the bottom of the hatch, the cargo hatch for the Wistful Wish, stand two Haathoraians. One of them is dressed in incredibly colorful, vibrant finery, with decorations, not exactly like military medals, but sort of sashes, a sash of office, and clearly a very important person. And the other Haathoraian next to her is an individual who is wearing also one of the sort of work uniforms that the rest of the crowd is wearing, but with a few little added sort of spiffy details that sort of mark him as first among equals of whoever this group of people is, perhaps. So that is the crowd that you all see, and the highly decorated Haathoraian spots Bertrand and all of you as you come out, and walks over and sort of gives you a respectful, insofar as this is clearly someone of authority and importance, so a reasonably respectful sort of nod and mini bow, and says, I welcome you to Haathorei. And more cheers erupt. And Bertrand sort of looks like he's about to say something, and then actually thinks better and sort of nudges the four of you all in front of him.
It's lovely to be here, and I will return the gesture as best as I can with the bow that they gave us.
I am Captain.
That is
Pardon me,
probably
Invicta.
exactly what happens.
Pardon me, Invicta. After you.
no, I give kind of a tilt of the head. I'm Invicta. Pleasure to meet you as well.
This decorated woman looks, Haathoraian woman looks somewhat taken aback at your introduction with just your name, but she very quickly regains her composure and says, of course, I am Grand Minister of Agriculture, Horticulturalist First Class. This is our Station Master, Hydrologist First Class, and these are the staff of the irrigation station here on the Crown, gathered to welcome you.
I am Blade Keeper. First among many, least among zero.
She looks so relieved to have something to call you other than your name. Blade Keeper, it is an honor. Captain.
Yes. I
An
am
honor.
Captain. Yes.
And she turns to you two, Ilay and Ikemba, who have offered no titles or names yet, and sort of with bated breath looks to the two of you.
I guess if you need it, you can just call me the community Lightbringer.
Lightbringer, welcome.
And I am Ikemba, Bio-Priest.
Tenses for a moment, and then, Bio-Priest, welcome to the four of you. These, and she turns to address the crowd, these four individuals, the Captain, the Blade Keeper, the Bio-Priest, and the Lightbringer, have come to return the water to Haathorei. And there's a great cheer. Once their work is done, we shall feast and celebrate. And another great cheer. And then there's a moment of silence, and the other Haathorei who was at the ship door when you all came off sort of quietly leans over to the minister and says, "Shall we begin the tour, Grand Minister?" And the Grand Minister, who is clearly enjoying the cheering and the adulation, snaps to and says, "Yes, of course. Back to work, all of you." And the crowd begins to disperse so that it is just the four of you, Bertrand, the Grand Minister of Agriculture, Horticulturalist First Class, and the Station Master of the Irrigation Station, Hydrologist First Class.
Just as a detail, do we notice that Bertrand code switched, like from how he was speaking to us? He kind of seemed like he switched real quick right when he was talking to his people.
Oh, most certainly, because it
Okay.
wasn't just what he said. There was a whole change of demeanor.
Right. That's what
his sort of exuberance was a little muted, and some of that could be excused because obviously this is a high-ranking official in government. But it was more than that. It was definitely a code switch, like you said, and I think after spending several days not being able to escape Bertrand, even if you wanted to, I think a change like that would definitely be noticeable.
Okay, good to know.
So the station master comes up and says, "Oh, welcome to all of you. Please, if you will follow me, we will begin our tour of the station. Hopefully, the Grand Engineer has provided you with a background of information of our problem, but we shall be happy to answer questions you may have along the way before we leave you to your work." And he begins to give you all a tour, and it is quite the view that you all see. The important points that he passes you all by, you see it's an amazing operation, but you basically get a lot of the same information that Bertrand very quickly gave you on board the ship before you landed about how the irrigation system works. One thing that the station master does tell you that the station master tells you that Bertrand hadn't mentioned is that basically the reason that the moon has such an abundant supply of frozen water is that it's constantly being pummeled. The moon and actually Haathorei itself are pretty close to a sort of belt of water-rich asteroids and meteors that are constantly pummeling the surface of the moon. And so what has been devised is a system by which drones and things collect that frozen water, feed it into the irrigation system where it's then piped down to the surface. But that's the source of the water on the moon, and why they specifically get it from the moon, because there's sort of, up until now, there seemed to have been an inexhaustible supply of space water. Now it's up to you all to determine whether that supply has in fact been exhausted or whether it's something planet side that is the problem.
We're learning this during the tour?
I think so. Bertrand had mentioned some of it to you all very quickly as you all were flying to the Crown, but you all sort of get a refresher and more details about it as you take this tour. And he shows you the irrigation station, shows you the whole system, tells you, any and all resources and access are at your disposal. If you want to get down planet side to inspect sort of the output side of the pipes, he can arrange that. If you all want to go up and inspect the intake part of the pipe on the moon, he can arrange that. It seems like it's a pretty simple procedure to get you all to either of those two places. He doesn't mention what that is, but he seems to think he can do it quite easily. Access to any diagnostic tools in the station, whatever you all need. And he is open to questions and anything else.
Might I ask why you outsourced getting water?
He looks a bit surprised and says, "Oh, well, we Haathoraians generally, as a sort of soft rule, perhaps, do not prefer to deal in these." My apologies, Captain. Are you asking about why we outsourced for the technology, or why we use the moon. Or why we use the moon as our source of water.
I mean, why are we here?
Well, we have run all of the diagnostic checks that we are capable of doing here, but the truth is, this whole system was built by outsiders, and maintenance of it is generally quite self-sufficient. But when it isn't, we often have to call off-world for assistance.
How often? I'm sorry, I
Not
continue.
suspicious.
Did you say how often, Ikemba?
I was asking how often
Uh-huh.
does the production slow down to the rates that it has currently?
Never in my time as station master.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Interesting indeed. This concerns me.
Us as well. By now, hopefully, the rest of some of the staff has taken the water that you brought aboard and begun to filter that into the places where it is most needed to maintain our agricultural output, which, as you know, is incredibly important for food supplies across the system and in many other systems as well. And he seems somewhat proud of that.
The person that we're talking to, is this the station master hydrologist? Okay.
Yeah, the
Um,
prime minister. The prime minister is with you all, but obviously, like, the briefing it needs to be done by the station master.
Okay.
Sorry, grand minister, not prime minister. I keep doing that.
Okay, that's yeah. Okay, cool. Station master, what seems to be the issue? Do we know if it was something wrong with their piping? Like there was something that happened with how the water's being delivered, and not so much
So
the water source itself?
Right. Their diagnostics are fairly limited in what they've been able to establish. What they can say for certain is that none of the pipes are damaged. So it isn't like water is being lost at any point in the irrigation system. So it's not that. So that's what has sort of led them to believe that the problem is at one end or the other, right? Either the supply something's happened to the supply, or something is blocking output. That if you ask the station master, he will tell you that he's a bit dubious of that, because it seems like if there was a blockage, then there would have been other reported issues that they would have noticed, further up the line. But he, obviously is a very meticulous person and doesn't want to rule out that possibility because he can't for sure say that it isn't that.
So we don't know where the blockage is quite yet, and doesn't seem like it's here on Haathorei. May it possibly be on this moon where you're getting all these resources?
That seems likely, Lightbringer. The reality is, we have never really questioned the unending supply of water-rich meteors and asteroids that pummel our moon. It may very well be that perhaps the supply was not as unending as we thought. It might be as mundane a problem as that, though if it is, well, that doesn't really seem like a problem the four of you, capable though you may be, can solve. I hate to say it, but I almost hope that there is something more sinister at work. That, at least, we may be able to do something about.
How numerous are your enemies?
Oh, enemies?
Enemies.
Haathorei, no, we are a peaceful people. We provide agricultural supplies for much of the galaxy, but we do so for the good of all. I can't imagine anyone would take issue with our systems. No, Haathoraians have no enemies to speak of.
Can I use my lie detector?
You absolutely can. Yeah. If you want to use that, it will be a test. So, I've lost my thing. So this is actually, I think, going to be interesting. You want the truth out of him. I think this is a contest. So in that case, you're going to roll first, Silent 919. You're going to put together your lie detector pool, and you're going to roll first to set a difficulty for this person to choose to try and counter you or not.
Oh.
Let us. Thank you. Ah. I didn't. Are we back? Oh, crud. Sorry, my voice carried through the wormhole, y'all. I didn't even give a warning. I didn't know we were going to do a roll here, and our fabulous producer sends us over without a word spoken. Thank you. All right, Sila, what do we got going here for your dice pool?
All right, so I'm going to do the 6 for the lie detector monocle.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm going to use notice.
I think that makes perfect sense to me. Absolutely.
And do it right or get out of my way.
Yeah, for sure. Excellent. Anything else you want to add to this?
No.
All right. So roll that up, and that will set the difficulty for Station Master Hydrologist First Class. Oops. Holy bananas. Okay. Well, that's a 16 with a D6 effect die. Do you want to move any of that around? Because remember, you can choose what dice go into your total and what the effect die is. The number on the effect die doesn't matter. The only thing that matters in effect die is the size of the die. So if you wanted to move the 10 or the D10 or the D8 to effect and move that D6 into your total, the total would still be a 13, but your effect die would be larger if you would like.
Dealer, I want to play it as it lays.
All right, play it as it lays, a 16, absolutely. All right, so we are going to now toss together the Station Masters pool, which is going to have, let's see, one of those, and another one of those, and actually one of those. Okay, so rolling that up. Oh, 13 is the best I can do here. So your 16 clearly beats it. The Station Master is very clearly keeping something from you, Sila. You're not sure what it is, but he is definitely withholding something.
All lies will be revealed in time. Withholding, as one might call it. Carry on.
Uh, uh, if if there is something you would like to ask me, Captain, I would be happy to answer.
You just answered, and you answered with a fallacy. Why should I trust you going forward?
The station master is beginning to get a bit worked up, and Bertrand sees this happening, who's also along with you, and turns to the station master and says, Uncle Station Master, please, our captain is not used to our Haathorei ways, but she means to do all she can to help us. If there is something that you feel is of importance, please share it with us now. The station master looks somewhat perturbed, but turns to all of you and sort of examines each of you, and then he turns to the Grand Minister and sort of gives her a look like, how do you want me to proceed? And the Grand Minister finally nods and says, go ahead, brother. And so the station master says, well, I have a theory that is not substantiated in any way. And if I'm honest, there is very little to my theory. But it has been noted since the decrease in water began that every so often, maybe a few times, every several days, every 4 to 5 days, there is an unusual shadow on the moon. We have not been able to determine what is casting a shadow so large as to be visible on our moon from here on the surface. Whatever it is my belief, may have something to do with our problems. Unfortunately, Captain, I do not know what it could be, and so initially chose not to disclose my theory, insufficient, unsubstantiated, and bare bones as it is.
An omission is still a lie, but we shall move on. Uncle of Bertrand.
Bertrand leans over and says, no, here familiar titles merely represent respect and age difference, you see. We are not blood relatives.
Ah, he is old and deserves respect. Understood.
So if I could, forgive me, Ikemba.
Oh, this is fine.
Did you have something to say?
I was quite curious if the water on the moon stopped abruptly, or was it tapered over time?
An excellent question. The station master seems to be somewhat more on even footing answering y'all's questions like this. This is something sort of both. It was not all at once immediate. There was a sort of stepping down of the output here on the surface, but it was fairly rapid.
How rapid is fairly rapid?
We went from full production to our current rate of production over the course of 3 to 4 days, I believe.
3 to 4 days.
And the change in output was significant.
You say you have no enemies. You say the output slowed from enough to handle the needs of the entire planet. And already the water drop on your lakes has dropped that much. I fear there's something happening in space, that someone's decided that your water is theirs. And that may be a problem. Otherwise, why would the water stop so abruptly? Do you have astronomers to see the size of the asteroid field that feeds your moon's water?
We have gotten very basic readings, and you have hit upon it. There doesn't seem to have been any change in our sensors' ability to detect the asteroids and meteors. They, as far as we can tell, are as plentiful as they were before, though we have not officially said anything about that yet until we can confirm exactly what's going on. As I said, it is perhaps somewhat uncouth to say, but enemies can be dealt with. Natural depletion of an important resource is a much more dangerous situation.
Indeed. I fear, though, that while you say an enemy can be dealt with, wouldn't it be more prudent for an enemy to starve you of water briefly, just to show you their strength, in order to get you to do whatever they chose.
Possibly. Honestly, Bio Priest, the concept of enemies of the Haathorei is so very strange to me and to many of us. Generations have passed here on Haathorei with us peacefully enjoying our existence here and happy to provide food to the sector and to many sectors. The concept of an enemy who wishes us ill or wishes to control us is difficult to fully comprehend.
As someone who understands tactics, it's less about someone with the ability to hold power over others having enemies already. It's more that typically anyone with the capability to do such a thing as as we're discussing here, with holding water from an entire planet, someone with the capability there wouldn't care of enemies, because water, especially for a planet as plentiful and green as this, is required. So, as someone who has thought in tactics, if there were a group that had a thing that I needed and I were unscrupulous about how I could get it, why would I attack them directly when I could attack their source of life?
The Grand Minister and her fellow ministers were wise to seek assistance from off-world. This is a line of thinking that I venture to say very few, if any, Haathoraians would have approached. I am grateful that you four are here. Everything that you say, Bio Priest, makes sense as you speak it. May I assume that your first point of investigation will be the intake of the pipe at the moon?
That is interesting, as our mission was not quite investigation as of yet. It was delivering the water, but for that, I will leave that discussion to my captain. I am not in a position to make such an inquiry.
Of course, I should have known to address the question to your captain to begin with. Captain, what say you? Shall I prepare transport to the moon, to the surface, or would you like to see more of our facilities?
I believe that the only captainly decision would be to go to the moon when it is offered.
As you wish. We will have a pod prepared for the four of you as quickly as possible.
And Minister,
I apologize. I apologize. Excuse me, crew. Would you be averse to going to the moon?
The Grand Minister turns and gives Bertrand a look like, what did she just say?
not at all.
Uh,
I go where our crew goes.
Invicta?
as long as I get to wet my blade with the blood of our enemies, sure.
Well, it's the moon, so I'm not sure what the enemies shall be, but please bring your blade in the off chance that we do run into said enemies.
I also have a question for the Grand Minister. Grand Minister, is there any sort of Haathoraian ice moon guide that you have here? Has anyone been up there before?
No. Some of the staff of the irrigation station will take pods up to the moon, just to do routine sort of maintenance checks. But again, our ability with maintaining this equipment is limited, and well, the station master here, many think he overreacts in situations, but I have known him for some time, and when he advised caution in sending up more of our staff to the moon until things were investigated and taken care of, I agreed and halted all travel between planet and surface and moon.
Thank you, Grand Minister. That'll be all.
Excellent. Station master, prepare the pods for our guests. And the station master nods and goes off to prepare you all whatever this pod is to send you to the moon, which is what we will start with next week. But for now, we must bid you all adieu. Hey, thanks so much, everybody, for hanging out, to the four of you for playing with me this evening, and to the rest of you who are in chat hanging out watching. Given poor B Dave grief in the chat, you all know it's all his fault. Blame me not. I have had a blast, and I hope you all have too. Congratulations to the winner of the blue Yeti X microphone. I missed who it was, but I know it got picked, so congratulations to you. Let us really quickly say once again thank you so very, very much to Die Hard Dice. Go check out the Musalian Skies dice set over on their website, dieharddice.com. We want to thank Blue Microphones for providing the cast with upgrades to our sound setups to make sure that we sound great for all of you. Everyone who needs any sort of microphone or sound equipment should go to bluemic.com and check out what they've got. Huge thank you, of course, to Cortex by Fandom for allowing us to work with them to prime our game system by Cortex. And last but not least, thank you to Twitch for giving us the space and the ability to do this show and develop this game. Let's go around quickly because I know we're approaching the end of our time slot. So let's go around and let everyone know who you are, who you played, where we can find you on the internet, what else you got going on, and let's start with our host, Tanya.
Hello, I'm Tanya, Cypher Tier. You can usually find me here doing either this. Also, Sundays earlier in the day, I'm the DM for Rivals of Waterdeep. We are in our 8th season, and we are a WotC partner. You can find us 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Central, and then hang out for a couple hours and come here. Normally, I am also DMing Dungeon Crossing, which is teaching people to play D&D, but in Animal Crossing. And we're on a bit of a hiatus due to real life and work and travel. Even in these COVID times, acting doesn't stop for some people. So until Shannon's back on this side of the equator, we're on break until December, maybe January. Dragon Age, normally on Thursdays, on break TBD, we don't know yet. So find me on my own channel, playing everything from RPGs to the Division 2, and on occasion swinging around Manhattan as Miles Morales on the PS5. Find me everywhere, Cypher Tier. Say hi, tell us what you like about Motherlands, let Twitch know you like it, so we can see about maybe getting another season, who knows.
Do the thing. Make it happen. I love it. Yes. Moving on down the line to Christina.
Hi, I'm Christina. I play Captain Silent 919. It's been a pleasure hanging out. It's Christina Ariel, KRYSTINA ARIELLE. Find me on the internet and I'll tell you what I'm doing. But you gotta find me first like a game. It's gonna be so much fun. Everybody have a great week and do stuff and things with friends. Bye.
Perfect. DJ.
Hi, I'm DeejayKnight, also known as Ikemba. I play space and sci-fi games primarily, so I've been spending a lot of time with Watch Dogs 2 recently because Watch Dogs 2, or my bad, Watch Dogs Legion, because yes. I'm also going to be very shortly living the life of Miles Morales because you got to do it. It's not really too much of a choice. Representation is a thing. I like being represented and I'm here for it. So yeah, that's a thing. Also, mostly space and sci-fi games. Central time zone. Everywhere as DeejayKnight. Thanks for your time. Be awesome. Also, find me great cheeses and tweet them. Because I like to learn about more cheeses. Like I know about smoked Gouda, Haathorei, butter case. Like if you've got a cheese, preferably a boar's head cheese that I don't know about, I want to know about it so that I can eat it. Please and thank you.
Yes, I love that. And last but not least, Michael.
Hello, I'm Michael Sinclair II. You can find me at Michael Crits everywhere. What I have going on today is, or recently, or when I see my brain just mush, I'm a STEM student, so you don't see me on the internet currently as much other than on TTRPG ones because I can't really live stream. I should be studying if I have live stream time. So that's kind of my life until the semester's over. When my semester is over, you can catch me at Michael Crits on Twitch.tv. So I'll probably be playing some more World of Warcraft because Shadowlands is going to be dropping, so that's going to be exciting. And probably some Magic the Gathering, get back into that, and some Baldur's Gate. But until then, just pay attention to my Twitter for everything because I'm just either studying or on Twitter, I guess. But I should be studying.
So basically what you're saying is every time any of us see a tweet from you, we should reply to it with "go study."
Sure, absolutely.
Great.
It does help
Perfect.
people with ADHD out. Like I should be studying
Yeah.
and be like, oh, okay, I
Oh,
spent
okay,
like
yeah. There
30
you
minutes
go.
on this. I should not be doing that.
You're welcome. I love it. I love it. I love it. And once again, I'm Eugenio. You can find me on Twitter and here on Twitch at DM Jazzy Hands. What do? I am the DM and producer of an actual play Dungeons and Dragons podcast called The Last Refuge. You can find us on Twitter at DND Last Refuge. New episodes every Wednesday. Let's see. Tomorrow night, if you like sci-fi and want more of it, you can find me over on Roll20's Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Roll20 app for season 2 of Burn Bright, a science fantasy game system developed by Roll20 and James Introcaso. We are doing a season 2. The game is GM'd by Celeste Konowich, if you're familiar with her work. And it's me, Nassim from the Venture Maidens, Lisa Penrose, community manager of the DMs Guild, and Gnome from Nomedic, that channel there, and Dark Fortunes Pod and lots of other stuff. So it's a great crew. Come by tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific to come see that. Tuesday night, I play a D&D game on Mini Train Domains channel that you should check out based on the adventure A Harper's Tale. I stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and then I'm here with you on Sundays. And that's it. I will see you all over the place, but for now, we must bid you all adieu. Thank you so much for being here this week. We super appreciate it. We will see you all next week, same time, same place, Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, here on Twitch TV, twitch.tv/Cypher of Tyr for episode 8 of Into the Motherlands. Until then, thank you so much for being here. Stay safe, stay healthy, please wear a mask, and happy gaming, y'all.
Right, and we're gonna go raid Pro Quesadilla, who's playing
Thank you.
weird but charming game called Bug Snacks. I can't explain it. Just watch. That's all I got.
Very
Bugs
cute,
Next
and you'll
has
enjoy it.
no explanation.
Nope.
No, none. You just gotta. If you indulge in such things, you may wish to partake to make it make sense.
There you go. I
That
love it.
sounds perfect.
So enjoy that. Give him some Motherlands love, and we'll see you next week.